Well, welcome back, everyone. We are live out at the Wild West Wildlife Rehabilitation Center. I've got Stephanie here with me, as well as a coach whip snake that is a little bit wild, that is for sure. But this is just one of the many animals you're rehabbing here, Stephanie. How are you doing this morning?
Good, doing really good. We're a little tired, need more coffee, but we're good.
Hey, well, that's good. Well, that's good to hear for sure. So a coach whip snake, which I wasn't terribly familiar with the breed. I'm not terribly familiar with snakes, although just the fact that I'm usually scared of them. But this one's pretty fascinating. You said the coach whip snake and the kind of the role it plays in nature is super interesting. But I'll say at the same time, I mean, if it's here, that means it's being rehabbed. So can you tell me this little guy's story?
Yes, and I'm really surprised. I did not know you were scared of snakes. And
a little bit.
I just kind of threw it in his hand. I'm like, here's a coach whip snake.
I trust you. I trust you with it, yeah.
So, yeah, this is a coach whip snake. They're very common here in the Texas Panhandle. They will also go after rattlesnakes, which is a positive thing if you've got them around. They're not venomous. They are super fast. They can go up to about 6 miles an hour.
Right.
And they're very long. And they will also climb. We'll get them climbing up the side of the building. They'll go into trees and things like that. But they're one of the many animals we have in care. We currently have a little over 200 animals in care right now. We just released 62 opossums last week and 8 great horned owls, which was awesome. And but we still have almost 60 opossums to go.
I mean, that is a lot of babies for
Yes.
sure. But that's the thing, though, is like you say, you get these situations where you find these animals in some pretty precarious spots, and so I think y'all do some great work of getting them rehabbed. Like, I mean, right here, this little snake, I mean, really moving around pretty well. Like you said, she's fast. I mean, can already tell, just like you said, you're holding her, but I mean, she's moving around pretty wild for sure. But you say that nets can sometimes cause some issue with these snakes, right?
Yes, so she got tangled up in some netting in the backyard. It's really important when you're not using baseball netting, soccer netting, those things to put it up. If not, we get so many calls of animals caught. Owls, reptiles, mammals. So she has a few broken ribs. You can see little lacerations there on her body. But we did x-ray it. She does have those ribs, so we need to let her heal for that first before releasing her out. Make sure that she can digest food properly. It can get past that area. So, yes, anytime you've got netting, be very mindful of the wildlife around because they can get stuck in that. And the other thing I was going to say, and she just pooped all over me. That is awesome.
No. Okay.
So
the fun of life.
You couldn't have done that before this. They get their name Coach Whip because of the way their tail looks. So it looks a lot like a whip. So yeah, well, way to go on TV.
There we go on live TV. That's quite the debut there for sure. So there's some of the fun you have to
deal
with there.
Amazing
Oh
too.
yes, yeah, that for sure. So you got coach whip snakes. You were talking about barn owls. I mean, right behind us here. I mean, there's a baby raccoon. I mean, lots of animals that you're taking in. You said it's kind of baby season here, right?
It is. We're headed towards the peak of baby season as far as animals coming in. About 30 a day. We have 16 baby raccoons in care. She's just one of them. Again, another rescue story. Ended up finding a very deceased mom. She was found a day later. The people heard her in an abandoned trailer. Our team went out and searched through it and finally found her. So, yeah, every day we don't know what's coming in.
I mean, that's what's super interesting about like what y'all do. I mean, you got all these animals, you rehab them, you release them back into the wild. And I mean, just something we talk about every time we come out here is just trying to educate people. Like I said, bringing in your nets. Things like you can't keep possums as pets and things like that.
Correct.
And so educating people, that's one of the big key things with Wild West Wildlife.
Huge.
And that new education center, as we drove in, I mean, looks like you're getting the groundwork laid.
It is.
We like the rain, but it has been kind of delaying construction a little bit. But can you tell us more about the progress on that new building?
We're really, really excited about it. Get to pick out different stain colors for the concrete now as they move to working on pouring the concrete and working on the inside. So the plumbing's done, the footing's done. So we're just really excited, and I know the builder was like, I'm so sorry, but, you know, I'm not going to complain about rain.
No, we can't do that.
It's wonderful.
Yes.
It's fantastic. So it's going to come along, and it'll come as it's supposed to.
All right, well, that's awesome. Super looking forward to that for sure. So just real quick before we go, can you just tell people, you know, if they want to learn more about Wild West Wildlife Rehab and just what your mission is and maybe how they can help out, where do they need to go?
So go to wildwest.com. And you can learn more about us, see the different animals that we care for. And also, we're on Facebook and Instagram.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you for talking to us, Stephanie. And as always, super interesting animals. Like I said, I'm a little scared of snakes, but I trust you when you're handling one because you know what you're talking about for sure. So thank you for letting us come and see this really cool coach whip snake. And I guess we'll go get cleaned up. And I've got your dog walking forecast coming up here in just a little bit. So stay right here on News Channel 10 for Second Cup.